Yeah, what's up? This is On the Scene with Carissa Des.
I'm Pretty Leon.
And we are here with our special guest.
Yeah, what up? This is DJ Klyph.
DJ Klyph. And we are here with for Late Lyrics at Kelly's Olympian in Portland, Oregon.
That's right.
The City of Roses.
So, DJ Klyph, tell us about what you do. You know, I feel like I've heard your name around before. You've been in Portland. You've been in Portland for a long time, right?
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
Man, so many different things. I'm host of the Welcome to the Neighborhood radio show every Saturday night on X-Ray FM.
Okay.
Host,
I love X-Ray.
Yeah.
Right
host of the Rhythm on the Numbers FM.
Oh, okay. You're the host of that. All right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about
host
that.
Host of the Cliff Notes podcast.
Okay.
That's a fire name right
there.
Absolutely. Host and curator of Mic Check.
Okay.
We're doing our 7-year anniversary event this Sunday, man, August the 20th. Celebrating 7 years of Mic Check.
Well, where's that going to be at?
It's going to be at the Mission Theater, McMenamins Mission Theater, all ages situation.
Word.
The lineup is just ridiculous.
All right.
And we celebrate 50 years of hip hop and the kickoff of Portland Hip Hop Week.
Oh,
yes,
word. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, bet. I'm actually not familiar when that starts, so I should be. But
word up, man. August 20th through the 26th.
Word. Okay.
Yeah. I did Star Wars interviews of the Star Wars last year, but I think they're skipping a year of that. So I'm glad that you have your show that I could go to and that other people in Portland can go to. And you were saying that you have a podcast. Are you still doing the podcast now?
Absolutely,
Okay.
man. The Cliff Notes podcast. It's an extension of what I do on the radio show.
Okay.
I'd have these short little interviews on the air, and then afterwards, we get into these long conversations, and I was like, I should capture this somehow.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where the Cliff Notes podcast came from.
Okay.
I've interviewed so many of the amazing artists from the city, and then even expanded outside of the region, and just an opportunity to provide a platform like you folk do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For creators.
So our last guest was just saying that there needs to be. Well, he hopes that there would be more media to cover events, like for event coverage and stuff. So, the more the merrier. I think there should definitely be more of this, more music, more media coverage. And we were just talking about how I can't believe that it's been 50 years of hip hop and not more than that.
Yeah.
It seems like it's been around for longer, but it's new in the scheme of things.
It's gonna be around forever, man. It influences everything in this day and age. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I feel it does feel like it feels I'm 28, but it feels like it's just always been just like I don't know. It just feels like it's forever. But
word up.
It will be.
Word up.
Yes,
yeah. I mean, if you consider hip hop is probably one of the youngest genres.
Yeah.
But right
absolutely.
now, worldwide, it is one of the most influential genres.
It
is. Yeah.
And I'm a little bit older than y'all. You feel me? So I remember when hip hop started, and they were like, it's just a fad. It's not going to last. You know what I'm saying? And there was such a fight to just have it accepted as an art form. And now, you look at what it's done. It's changed lives. It's changed the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of pushback too. Like with all the legislature that was, like the whole Uncle Luke, the most famous trial in like pretty much music. Like
word up.
Oh wait, I want to know a little bit about this.
The friend, I
know
know a little bit.
There you go.
Like I used to know a lot about it, like way back when I first learned about it. But basically, like Uncle Luke, I don't know if you know Uncle Luke. I think he was in 2 Live Crew. I want to say
absolutely. Yep.
They their music was very explicit back in the day, and a lot of parents and higher ups in different places in the world in the music industry even were fighting to censor their music. White kids were the biggest consumers of hip hop. They still are actually technically when you talk about financially. And back in the day, they the parents were hearing their kids, like, "Ooh, Me So Horny," that song that was 2 Live Crew, and it was a huge trial, and it was like it was gonna change the trajectory of music forever because it was gonna be like you couldn't have swearing, any explicit language, nothing of the sort. And he, against all odds, he won. And that's why you have parental advisory stickers on CDs and stuff.
Because of him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because of him. Yeah, so he made it so you could still be a bad boy and be on the mic. But otherwise, it would have been nothing.
I was going to say, as a parent, I appreciate that there's nothing like that, too much of that on the radio. Because, like, of course, my kids are going to hear it someday, but also like when I was a kid, I was singing "Oh Me So Horny."
That shit slapped. I ain't gonna know, man.
I didn't know. I had no idea what it meant when I was a kid, but I was like, "This song is dope."
The beat's hard, but I don't know.
Yeah. So, but I definitely think that when artists are going a little bit overboard with that, or like with style, or like with their language and stuff, it actually opens the doors for other artists, and it kind of paves a new path. So even though people who aren't as dirty in their raps, they have more room to kind of be more creative, I think, too. So
Now, I think, one of the things that I always appreciate is when artists can really be creative. And if in fact you have content that may be not suitable for radio, not suitable for TV, I love it when an artist goes into, and I always tell them, you're at the studio, you're in the booth, just make a clean version.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly.
Just go ahead and do it.
It's more marketable that way too. You can get it on the radio. Yeah,
100%.
always have a clean version. They say there's like 5 versions of your song, or 4, I don't know, something like that. You have a clean version, the no lyrics version, all.
Instrumental, acapella, clean, and then your album version, and maybe even the TV version. And the thing that I feel like is it really pushes artists. Because if you feel like, well, I can't make a clean version because there's too much cussing, I challenge you, make a joint without cussing.
There's some really, I've heard some really, one of my new favorite traditions, or I don't even know if it's tradition really, but I'll be listening to like something like, Kodak Black, for instance. There's a song, I don't know what it's called, but he's like, I ain't gonna cuss on it because I want my son to listen to it. So he's a very vulgar rapper. Like he's a nasty, he's a bad dude. He was like, I ain't gonna cuss, I want my son to listen to it. And then I was listening to another rapper the other day, and he was like, I ain't gonna cuss because I want my mom to listen to it. And then he doesn't cuss the whole time. And it's like
just in that one song.
Yeah, just that one song, and it's like, but, it's
that
like
was his Will Smith version.
They can do it. Well, I mean, you've been to Cyber Saturdays at Page Street at the studio and stuff, and they have a whole prompt where it's like their free song, it's like no cussing.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen anybody go more than like 3 bars without like being like, shit, like, or like, I was in the mother, and it's like, it's really hard to do,
Yeah,
it's like
definitely.
You're like digging deep, and you kind of express yourself in this kind of flamboyant way, and it's hard to not swear and do that. But if you can do that, more power to you, for sure.
No doubt.
I'd have a hard time. I curse like a sailor.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
And that's why we're not on the radio.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I have a good filter though, because I'm a teacher for 10 years.
Too
so
funny.
I have a good filter.
That's too funny, yo.
Yeah, we have dirty mouths sometimes, but yeah. So you've been around on the music scene, you said, for a while. What are some of the things in Portland specific, or actually Portland specific, as well as the music scene in general, that you've seen, like the evolution of the?
It's been interesting, man.
Scene?
When I first came to Portland, there were a number of like big crews. There was Sand People. There was Old Dominion, Misfit Massive, and out of Misfit Massive, you get the Lifesavers. And I look now and how a lot of these artists have continued to do work, oftentimes as individual artists, but then have gone into things like licensing, other creative ways to make music. I think the idea that some of the great venues that used to be here, the Satiricon, Brabati's,
got to play both,
some of those places that were really known to support hip hop have gone away, and for a while there was a lack of places that would support hip hop. But now you have places like this, like you have Kelly's Olympian, where any night of the week you might find a hip hop show. The relationship that I've been blessed to build with McMenamins, there are definitely places now where that's coming back around that are open to the young creatives to support this art form. And I think just the next generation, you know what I mean, that's coming up that are representing the city. You think about the things that Amine is doing and Win.
Shout out.
And then the connection between generations, I think, is the dopest part. When you see some of the OGs and some of the young artists are coming together on bills and working together to just continue to push this art form.
Yeah, that's something that I always tell newer artists, is that you have to remember what came before you.
Come on, say that.
Yeah, learn
Listen to the old
your history
stuff.
a little bit.
Yeah.
And if you don't learn it, just pay homage, like just at least, somebody's like, oh, I've been around for a while. I'll be like, oh, respect. Like, tell me about, tell me this and that. And, it's like I've heard your name like probably my whole life. So I was like, oh shit. Like, I was like, Klyph, like, never met you. I haven't listened to the shows or anything, but now I'm going to. Because I'm like, okay, now I know where to get all that information.
You can make that connection. Word up.
Yes, sir.
Word up.
Yeah. So we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, and I'm actually really excited to see what is coming for the future of hip hop, like with the younger generation. Like, I do know some 16-year-old hip hop artists, but I'm really curious to see what's going to happen in like 10 years with hip hop. Yeah. What do you think will happen in like 10, 20 years with all like the AI and all the new electronic gizmos and
the rise of social media and everything? Oversaturation.
I think it's going to be, I think it's interesting. I think one of the things that we've been able to see over the years is that the foundation of this art form of hip hop, and oftentimes when we think about hip hop, we think about the music, right? But remember, there's other elements to it, right? So there's the DJing, of course, there's MC, but then there's also the dance portion and breakdancing.
Yep.
There's also graffiti, right?
Yeah.
And then you can expand even beyond that. Knowledge has been accepted as one of the original art forms.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think in the future, I think you will just continue to see it evolve the way that it has.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. For a while, I was really to get off my lawn. Old man, I was a traditionalist. You know what I'm saying?
starting to get like that.
But I have grown to appreciate the fact that creativity is creativity, and hip hop is truly art.
Yeah.
So where it goes is, I think, just like we saw how creators would use sampling, and that became such a foundation for the art form. It'll be interesting how AI is used, but I do believe that because of the historical creative process that hip hop has always expressed, you will see creatives use that to push the art form forward.
It's gonna stay G, it's gonna stay, it's gonna level out. Because I have seen some really cool stuff like with the AI. I was very hesitant at first, and obviously it's like kind of strange because it's like it's cheating, but there's even people out there. There's still people out there, even in this day and age, that'll call sampling cheating, which is wild.
100%.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
But I've seen some really cool like art being made, and I think there's a really big potential because like I saw this one song and this guy made an AI track with Drake and The Weeknd, and it's like people were like, oh no, he's biting, but it's like no, Drake and The Weeknd, these other artists, these big artists that are being emulated, they have an opportunity. So be like, oh, these are really good songwriters. These are talented individuals. Let's work with them. Or they'll buy the rights to that song and they'll make exorbitant amounts of money off those songs. So they'll be hits, like regardless, just because it's them who is on it. They can use that to their advantage. It's not immediately like a whole, copyright fiasco. It's like there's a lot of different ways to approach this stuff, And
I think we've learned. I hope we've learned. I'm a huge De La Soul fan, and the fact that everything that De La went through, and now that
I was talking about that today, actually.
Now that their stuff is on streaming, there's so much to learn from what they didn't know, the way that they were taking advantage of.
So many
I love
artists,
the fact that you have artists who are saying, "Hey, this is what happened to us. This is what you can do to avoid having it happen to you." And so again, I think as we move forward and we see these things happening, I think we have more understanding. Because hip hop is a business. It's not just art like it started out as. It is a business. And so you have young people, you have the next generation being a little bit more business minded, a little bit more business savvy.
And their lawyers getting their,
100%.
Getting their stuff
At the end of the day, though, I just say, just make sure you give credit where credit is due. Make sure you tell the whole story. You feel me? And as long as you do that, man, I think that you're going to see the continued beauty of this art form do nothing but blossom.
Absolutely.
I agree.
I 100% agree. Know your rights.
Exactly. For the future, if you could change something about the hip hop scene in general, what would you change about it to make it better? Not just in Portland, but just in general.
I think just continuing to make sure that we push balance forward, right? So I think that when we think about the different subgenres of the different styles of hip hop. And once again, I was guilty of it, like mumble rap ain't real rap. You know what I mean? That was me. You know what I'm saying?
But everybody did it.
Exactly. But I think the thing that we know is that there's always been different styles. It's just what has been pushed to the forefront, right? And it's now, because it's a business, what's going to sell the most records. I think what I would like to see moving forward is just continue to push the balance. To know that there is something for everyone. And I think if we can do that, and then just remember, man, like you said, remember the foundations. You know what I mean? This is art, and so let's look at it as art. Let's appreciate it as art. If I don't necessarily rock with it, that's okay. Don't take offense to it. That's just not for me. And then at the end of the day, man, let's just push love. You know what I'm saying? Let's push love. If we can have that be at the forefront of this art form, it will continue, because that's the greatest thing there is on the planet is love.
That's the real foundation,
it's all about love.
Man.
Word up.
Creative expression. Supporting that.
Definitely. Well, we won't keep you too long. I know that you're going to be a part of this show tonight.
Yes,
so,
sir. We're very excited.
Do you have anything that you want to leave us with before you go?
Yo, I just want to say thank y'all, first of all, so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
What you guys are doing, what you're building, the way that you're building it.
You too.
Really, really honored to be on the platform with you. You know what I mean?
Appreciate it.
Anybody who's watching this, be sure to follow these folk, man. Support these folk in any way that you can. Nowadays, it's really easy. Just like and share and help get the word out. When people are doing great creative things like this, we got to support them. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you support these cats.
Support the people supporting the supporters.
Support the supporters.
Yeah,
That's
like
what I always say.
Chain reaction.
Support the supporters.
We got the DJ Klyph cosign. Let's go.
And of course, you know, I got the shameless plug.
Yeah,
Check
we
me
didn't
out.
ask that.
Everywhere is DJ Klyph, DJ Klyph. Welcome to the Neighborhood every Saturday night on X-Ray FM, Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. on The Numbers. Every fourth Sunday at White Eagle, me and DJ Ambush do No Requests. It's not a party, it's a vibe, just old school, golden era hip hop. We just play joints. And you know, who knows when the next mic check might pop up. So yeah, man, just check me out. DJ Klyph everywhere.
Give him a follow.
Ready to go.
Yeah, he's doing work out here. He's been doing work out here behind the scenes. And hopefully we get to see you more in front of the camera, so you can talk about like more of the history and because it's like it's a lot of young people on the scene that want to be in front of the camera, but you know, we like to also talk to people who have been around for a while, who actually know the history and have seen the evolution too. So I really appreciate you.
Nah, my pleasure. That's love.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Absolutely, no doubt, no doubt, man.
Yes, sir.
The first of many. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Yep, and this has been On the Scene with Carissa Dez.
I'm Pretty Leon.
And our special guest,
DJ Klyph.
Yes, sir. You already know. And we out.